Hi, this is Canadian folk musician Jesse Ferguson, and today I'm going to bring you a video on how to get paying gigs when you're a musician or a band. Now, this is primarily targeted at people who haven't played much publicly, or at least haven't got paying gigs yet. And I'll give you some secrets that I learned over my roughly 10 years or so of playing publicly. I haven't made a whole lot of money playing music publicly, but it certainly does beat playing for free. So this applies mostly in Canada, but also I imagine most of it would also apply in other countries, at least in the English-speaking world. The basic principles would be the same anyway. So what are the steps? Well, the first one is make sure that you are actually ready to play out. Don't kid yourself if you're not quite there yet. You need an awful lot of material polished up. And whether that's your own songs or someone else's, it takes a lot of doing, especially if you're playing with a band. So, get some honest feedback from someone, not your mom or your girlfriend or your boyfriend or something like that. Get someone to give you honest feedback. Am I ready to play out? Would someone pay to hear this? That's a big difference between someone paying to hear you and them going to hear you for free. So, number 2 is look for venues in your area where the kind of music you play is currently being played by other bands or other musicians. Now, that's not to say that you can't pitch your type of music to a venue that doesn't have that yet, but especially when you're starting out, the booking agents, whoever does the booking at a bar or a cafe or something like that, they'll likely want to be able to say, oh, this person is going to play something similar to this other band that's currently doing well in my venue. So if there aren't any venues in your area that support your kind of music, it's going to be a much harder sell. So maybe you could look in the next city over or something like that. Or consider playing a little bit of music that is closer to what's being already offered in your city. It doesn't mean you permanently have to switch over to another genre, but it may make it easier for you to get your foot in the door if you have something that's already established in your community. So, assuming that there are some places around that you can play, what are some stepping stones? Well, oftentimes if you go into these venues sort of without any background, any experience, you'll get a sort of cold shoulder. So what are some stepping stones that you can use in order to get a bit of that professional experience, some bragging rights, some credit, as they say, some street cred? So, first off, make yourself a free website. I use a website called Weebly.com. There are lots of different ones out there, but it looks a lot more professional if you don't just have a Facebook page, but actually a proper professional website. You can do this for free. Again, Weebly.com is the one that I use. I've been happy with it. You can put up some photos of yourself, a biography, some MP3s, YouTube videos, what have you, and it just looks much more professional. Number 2 would be to record some YouTube videos of yourself. You're already on YouTube, obviously, so it wouldn't be a stretch to take your digital camera, your iPhone, the best camera you can find, obviously, and record yourself playing some music. Make it as professional as possible. Trim the end off the video so that whenever you go to turn it off, they don't see your hand reaching toward the camera. It's a little extra step, but it does add some credibility. If you have access to a computer, try to record yourself in MP3s. So if you have a Mac, you can use GarageBand, very user-friendly. I use PC and a program called Mixcraft from a company called Acoustica. And it's about $60 or $80 or something like that, but now I can record proper MP3s. You can put those up on your website, you can put them on a CD and give them to bar owners or cafe owners, whatever it is. Much, much better. They're not going to hire you unless they can hear what you sound like. Guaranteed. They will not hire you without hearing it. And the more professional you can make that, obviously, the better. You can also offer to play for free somewhere. There are lots of places that are looking for musicians, but they can't afford to pay. So charity fundraising gigs. That was my first gig out publicly ever, was a charity fundraiser. I think it was for Amnesty International. You can play at your local church, you can play for your friend's party, you can play on the street. Check your local laws, but you can do buskering. Busking, some people call it, street performing, whatever it is. You play for tips on the street. If it's legal for you to do that, it's a great way to test out your material, get some feedback from people, work on your confidence. You've got to be confident to play in a bar or a cafe. It really doesn't work that well if you're sheepish and have no sort of stage presence. So those are some places you can play for free. And you can also offer to play for free at a venue as a sort of trial. Say, listen, I don't have a lot of experience, but I'll play for free on Wednesday night, a slow night. And if you like it, then we can talk about booking me for Friday or Saturday. Or you can open for another larger act that's playing, a more established act. Say, they're playing on Friday. I think my music would be a great sort of complement to that. For $50 or a couple of free beers, I'll play for half an hour to open for them. What do you think? And they'll say, well, I don't stand to lose very much. A couple of beers only cost me $10, so sure, you can come on. Then all of a sudden, now you have some professional experience. Whether it's paid or not, it's still experience. And you can put that in your email to the person who might book you at this bar or that bar. You can put it on your website. Take some photos of yourself playing that open mic. And all of a sudden, now you've got a picture of a guitar in your hand at a venue with people sitting around. That counts for something. So those are stepping stones. Now, to approach the actual venues you want to play at, now you've got something in your back pocket. How do you approach them? Well, in my experience, 80 to 90% of my gigs ever have come through me seeking out the venue. And those 10 to 20% that actually seek me out have come more recently after I've become sort of well established as a performer. They don't know who you are. If you're like me, you're an independent musician. I'm not backed by some big record label. And it also has been complicated in my case because I've moved around a fair bit. So I get established in a city, then I have to move somewhere else and basically start over from scratch almost. So you've got to be a self-starter, a self-promoter. So what does that mean? Well, you go out there and you send off emails to everyone in every venue in town that you might book you. Here's an MP3. Here's my name, where I'm from, what style of music I play. I think I'd be a great fit for your establishment specifically because of XYZ. You also book bands that play my style, or blah, blah, blah. Do a bit of research on the venue that you want to play at. It's like a job interview, right? If you just have one resume that's blank and you send it everywhere, no one's going to like that. They're going to think you're wasting their time. But if you tailor it, find out what's the name of the person who does the booking here. Put that in the email. Call up and find out when that person is in the bar, that you can go talk to that person. If you just show up with a CD someday, chances are some waiter or a bartender is just going to throw that CD under the cash or something like that, or beside the cash, and it'll get lost in the shuffle. So find out when the person who books the acts is there, and go introduce yourself, shake hands, drop off a CD, what have you. Right. So you'll find that once you've got a few professional paying gigs, especially, under your belt, it's going to be much easier to get other ones. You can say, can I play in your bar? I've already played in this and that bar in town. And you don't have to tell them that whenever you played there, it was a free gig. You didn't get paid for it. You just say, I played there. It's true. You can sort of stretch the facts a little bit until you become established, and then you won't have to stretch the facts anymore. I'm not encouraging you to lie, but there are ways to present the information that make you sound more polished, more experienced than perhaps you might otherwise sound. So those are my tips. I hope you found them useful. Oh yeah, how much should you charge? Don't put how much you charge for your gigs usually in the email that you contact them with. It comes off as a bit forward. They're going to say, well, who the hell is this person? Why should I pay you that amount? I've never heard of you. Let that be negotiated after they show some interest in you. It's usually the better approach, I would say. In Canada, where I've played, a reasonable fee is anywhere from $25 to $100 an hour. It depends on the size of the venue, the night, etc. If you're a full band, you can usually charge more than if you're an individual performer like myself. So my experience has usually been $25 to $100 an hour. So, and usually the more experience you get, the more price you can command. So start low, work your way up. So it's a long road, and you have to get used to a bit of rejection and a bit of criticism, but it is worth it in the end. You get paid to do what you love. So good luck with it, and thanks for listening. Bye.